And we're live. All right, folks. All right, folks. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I was one Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division One college football player, and current five-time, very soon to be six-time published author and educator. Kimberly, how are you today?
Doing great.
You
Good to
love
be
the
here.
background, by the way.
Thank you. I'm Kimberly, founder and owner of Art and HR Solutions, and we're going to jump into it.
Yes, we are. What we've done, if you could recall last week, if we kind of condensed our work time and we're cutting this down to maybe about 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes long because we're utilizing the tools. We're actually practicing what we preach in regards to how we go about our business. We know it's Sunday and we want to kind of get the points out. The goal here from day one, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but we are actually, if I'm not mistaken, approaching a year of doing these
Yeah,
every single Sunday.
yeah.
Uh, is to just create something on a Sunday to make it so you are more valuable in your workplace. And we've been on record saying after time, you're not going to do it on your own. You need a system, you need HR, you need people coming in and diagnosing your business and figuring out where the problems are. And there are always going to be some problems. So, with that, Kimberly and I have decided we're going to actually utilize ChatGPT every single week and put in some questions and react to it on the spot. However, there's always going to be something that comes up in our world. Both of our worlds require a lot of this type of, making sure we're staying valuable. So she has a story today that she went through today in terms of why you need to focus on HR, and then we're going to go into the questions and then kind of piggyback from there. So with that, I'll give you the mic and then we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Mhm.
So there is a lot of misconceptions still about HR. So tell me what your top three misconceptions are. What are the three things that you think about HR? What has come to mind, like flash fire?
You're getting fired. Somebody's in trouble because of some issue, whether it's a allegation or again, you're getting pay cuts, either pay cuts, you're getting fired, or oh my God, somebody did something stupid, like said something at work. Now it's an HR issue. So nothing necessarily good gets associated with HR.
Oh no.
That's right, HR, especially to the 9 to 5 mind, where look, man, I just got my job and I'm good, I'm comfortable. You hear the word HR, hey, I'm calling from HR. All of a sudden, the antennas go up. So anytime those two letters come up, it's usually not a good thing. So that's why I'm happy here to break all this down and give us the good stuff.
I get it all the time. They're like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" I said, "I'm in HR." Every time, but no one says, "Oh, that's cool." It's like, "Oh,
Oh,
oh my
okay.
god,
Say anything around there.
you can't trust her."
Yeah. I
That
understand
that's what
completely.
I hear, right? And so,
Mhm.
I wanted to clear up some of those things and
Yes, ma'am.
show business owners and employees why HR is not the evil HR lady or man, depending, because there's been an HR too.
Hmm.
So one of the common things that I hear a lot is that HR is here to protect the employee, or HR is here to only protect the company. It's either one or the other. It's not both, right?
Right.
So
and
really,
and not to
HR,
cut you off, but they are here to do that. Like it's not, and those aren't bad things because as business owners, there are certain pieces of your business that you have to have protected. There's certain things that have to be done legally so you can go out and do your business. So those aren't necessarily bad things. It's just not the only thing.
or you could reframe your thinking.
Hmm.
HR helps protect the company
Hmm.
through your people, not from your
Exactly.
people.
Right.
So think about utilizing employees to help you stay compliant. That comes
Right.
with training, that comes with holding people accountable.
Hmm.
It's a lot of things, but we're not protecting from, but
Hmm.
through. Okay.
Yes. Big facts.
So what happened this week? I was working with a client that said, I didn't have HR for a long time. I have permission to tell the story.
Hmm.
I didn't have HR for a long time. I finally got an HR, and the reason why I'm calling you is because they're not doing what I want them to do, and they don't align with my vision for the company. So I did some you know digging and asked those questions. Well, why doesn't the HR align? Well, she didn't agree with me with this issue, and so I listened to the concerns, right? And I said, so whose fault is that? When you were interviewing, did you explain the culture and what you're doing?
Hmm.
You have to make sure it goes back to that hiring framework. that you have those guides. You have to put your culture in there. If you want culture alignment, you have to live it, preach it. You just can't have a logo, a slogan,
Hmm.
on the wall that says something that you don't live every day,
Right.
right? And
Hmm.
so, he sat back and he's like, "Wow, I never thought about it that way." I
Hmm.
said, "So HR's role isn't to agree with everything. That's not
Hmm.
why you hired them. You hired them as a business partnership,
Right.
And so part of it is working through your people, make
Hmm.
sure you have the right people, and not against them. It's not you against them, and that's the reason why your culture is failing.
Right.
You own that." And
Right.
so, it's kind of like a aha moment, like, wow, I never thought about it that way, right?
Right.
But without clear, consistent goals, and what is the goal? What is the mission? If you don't, if the employees don't understand that, and you ask 5 or 10 different people, what are
Hmm.
your goals? What is your mission? They're going to have different answers, every single one. That
Right.
shows a misalignment within your culture.
Hmm.
I'm going
So
to
what
stop
was
there to see if you have any
well, that's
questions.
gonna yeah. What was the outcome of the conversation? Like when you broke that part down, and I resonate with that because as a employee, I do teach at a school for those of you who do not know. We actually had a training similar to that this week, we talked about a personality test, and we did a personality test, and the issues that came up like within the first 2 minutes of the entire presentation. Shout out to Sean. Sean, yeah, he's supposed to be on the show soon, so shout out to Sean. Hopefully you're listening. But within the first 2 minutes of the conversation, it came up that what happens when the mission isn't aligned, because you can have a person who has a stronger personality that likes to speak and is always talking about what they do, like I do. You guys watch these, you guys know exactly what I'm doing at the school, what it's all about, all that kind of stuff. But then you get a newer employee that is walking in just wanting to keep their job and all that stuff and thinking that, hey, I just want to kind of do what I'm told, when this isn't the kind of school like that. And then there was constant headbutting. So I'm curious now, when you're having that conversation with the client that you had, what do they do next when they recognize the problem? Because it's one thing to recognize the problem, but it's completely different other to actually take action and do something about it. That's
Yep.
where a lot of you folks out there get stuck. Is okay, I see a problem. Okay, I'm just gonna let it be a problem until it gets to the point where you can't solve it anymore. So, like, what was the result of it, just for anybody that's listening?
So continuing that conversation, he's like, "Okay, well, how do we fix it?" And so I said, "So what are sorry ideas?" And he started talking about workshops and classes and redoing job descriptions and all of these things. And I'm like, they are all great ideas, but before we do any of those things,
Hmm.
take accountability. Tell them you were wrong
Right.
and we want to get realigned.
Hmm.
So the leaders have to take ownership. It's my issue. We're not saying it's your fault,
Right.
but you take that ownership. It's not about fault. It's about, hey, it was something I said or didn't say to align our mission and goals. And so now we're going to do a reset.
Hmm.
And so from that, they're going to have and they're going to call it like a daily meeting or daily briefing is what they're going to call it
Hmm.
with his leaders, obviously not with the whole company, but with
Hmm.
his leaders every Monday, they're going to have this is what we're doing for the week, right? Mission ready. And
Right.
then daily have another one, 5, 10 minute meeting. How's it going? What do you need help with?
Yes.
And so if those leaders don't execute, then
Hmm.
it's a leadership problem. But they're aligned now. Now they all answer the same questions. They all know what the mission is. They all know what they have to do.
Hmm.
The owner is engaged in talking about it and listening more to his HR,
Hmm.
who ended up not being in alignment. Some industries aren't for every HR, right? I mean, it's we are people too that's in HR. So you have to
Hmm.
talk to them that they have to understand, what it is that you're doing or want to understand and not just be a one type of style, right? Leaders can't be that way. No matter what role you're in, whether it's HR or admin, what have you.
Right.
So this has already started and is already you can see an impact because
Yes.
that is the one major thing before you start training, the employees get in line with your leaders first.
Mhm. And also, too, I don't know if he's open to it, but we definitely got to have him on here to discuss that because to me, that's major, and there's a lot of takeaways from that as business owners. I'm not going to sit there and say it's an easy thing to do. It's a
It's not.
challenging thing to do because you have to actually look beyond your own business that you started, that you create, that's your baby, and somebody's coming into your baby and they're using it with their own agenda because they want to check and they want more. Like actually, before we started recording this, we broke down the whole debate that's going on with the WNBA, and I was able to explain to her, hey, it's more so about the time you're working versus the actual gender and all the other stuff that people are getting into. It's actually just the equal pay based on what you're putting out there. So it's not easy, and I'm bringing that up because it's not easy to get everyone on alignment when we have these platforms and we have marketing, we have outreach, we have like buyouts, and we have all sorts of things that go in to a company being run. It's not easy to get a group of people in a line to say this is our mission. So,
Yep.
all that being said, I think the questions that we're going to put into the chat today, I'll read it to you first, and then we'll kind of we'll tweak it based on what you say. So the first one you sent me is, where have I substituted leadership with silence, and how is this shaping my team's culture and my audience? Is there anything you want me to tweak to that before I hit the hit the send button?
Nope. Go right ahead.
Just go right ahead. Okay. Question right there. It's a real leader question. It cuts sitting. Let's unpack it. Where have I substituted silence? This is asking when did I avoid the hard conversation? When did I withhold clarity, feedback, or vision? When did I let fear or conflict outweigh the responsibility to speak up? How is this shaping my team's culture in my absence? Okay, so before we even get started, I have to explain to you guys. You guys are seeing my personal chat GPT bot, and this is the kind of stuff we talk about all day. Me and the chat GPT, we talk about this kind of stuff all day. And as you can see, they've gotten to know me with Winterfell. So again, if you're not using it consistently, it's not going to be helpful to you. But when it comes to this first part, whereby substituted leadership with silence, this one right here, a lot of folks are guilty of. And this is not just a matter of your work relationship. This is also in the home, the way you parent, the way you are a teammate, the way you lead in general is too often are folks just being silent. What has happened, and I've actually seen this play out. I forgot what was the issue. It was, oh my God, it's going to come to me in a second. Oh yeah, the Shaq and RG3 issue. There, I mean, again, here we go. WNBA, RG3 has a take about Angel Reese. No, he retweets something, and then Shaq tells him he's gonna punch him in his effing face if he sees another tweet. So the issue that I had with that is, again, if you're really gonna punch him in the face, you take one of these cell phones right here. You go, hey, we're not going to do this, and it's going to be private. It's not. I don't need to be seen. The issue is now you kind of stay silent because you turned it into, and it's crazy to say that it's silent even though everyone heard, but it is silent because you didn't call the person directly and say you have an issue. So what the problem is with all of these technology, all the technology, and all the way we speak now is we're confusing what communication actually is. We're confused on what silent and public communication actually is. Public communication isn't you going on a podcast and talking shit about how you're going to do something to somebody else. That's actually being silent because you
that is actually being passive
exactly.
aggressive.
That's what I'm saying. Like you
Yeah.
could easily call them if you felt the way, and then again the situation squash. So I'd love for you to speak on that because it's interesting that we're getting here at this time because we're talking about a person in Shaq who is very successful. He's actually like the CEO of a lot of companies that you would not know, and he's responsible for a lot of people's employment. And when you have leadership like that, now again, the need for HR, the need to go and speak to these quote unquote entrepreneurs, these quote unquote business owners in terms of how they communicate. What is the vision that you're giving to your staff? So it's not so much turnover, so much so much non-retention, and so much just confusion in terms of how the hell it is they can actually add value in their workplace.
So it's a great question. And it's a hot
Mhm.
topic
Yeah,
because it's hard for some leaders to have those crucial conversations.
it is. They're not built for it.
Yeah, I actually created, and I've given this class multiple times. It's
Mhm.
called Ownership and Crucial Conversations.
Mhm.
Because the first thing you have to do is take accountability and ownership. What have I done? Look in the mirror. What have I done that's causing this? And what can I do to fix it?
Right.
And by not having crucial conversations with your team, whether it's about performance, and most of it is about performance, you're not doing this to see how we can help you because they're afraid either not to be liked, they don't want to be the bad guy,
Mhm.
whatever the reasoning is, you're actually hindering their growth and you're hindering your company.
Right.
So having those crucial conversations and getting down deep to how you can help them and
Mhm.
or if they don't help themselves, if they don't get better after those conversations, then you help them out and get the
Right.
person in that will do the job. And so you're actually creating a culture of I can do what I want.
Right.
I don't have to produce. I don't have to meet those sales numbers. I
Mhm.
don't have to, do whatever it is their job is because no one's holding me accountable.
Mhm.
And
And
then at the end of the year, when they're having a performance review, you want to say, you didn't meet your numbers, you didn't do this. Performance review should not be a surprise.
right. And
Performance
uh,
management is every day,
right.
every
And
day.
I have to clarify that because we're going to cut it. We're going to cut in about 4 minutes here, and I want to get your perspective on this because you brought up something that is absolutely necessary for us to talk about. It. Can't believe we're almost a year in and we haven't talked about this yet. At least not to my recent memory. But anyway, crucial conversation is so much deeper than money. Too often do we hear as business owners and a lot of you guys who are running a company, do you only start having conversations with your staff when it comes down to money and when it comes down to something that now is potentially that they don't have a job anymore, their budget cuts and all that kind of stuff. Crucial conversations are starting right. It has to be something that you do every single day. How exactly are you doing? Is the mission aligned with your personal life or like? And not to say you got to get too detail oriented, but the things that are going on in your life, are we able to make sure you're staying afloat? Those small things can make a huge difference in the psyche
Yes.
of a person's business, just in the psyche of the person that runs your business from a day-to-day standpoint. I right now at this current juncture, I still have staff members that do not speak to me. I mean, I have several staff members that do not speak to me at all. It doesn't hurt necessarily me personally because I'm used to not being liked by a lot of people. But at the same time, when I think about the mission of the organization, it can become a problem because when you have two adults that aren't willing to talk out a situation, all it does is just create more and more problems and more headaches for the person who's actually running the business. So this crucial conversation element of it, it's deeper than actual money. If you don't do it now, then I'm telling you right now, it's just going to fester and fester and fester, and ultimately become something that tears you. So, I want to make sure I'm on record saying that for all of you out there. We come on here and I share the things that I go through on a day-to-day basis, so you guys don't have to go through these problems. These conversations, I know they're tough. Have them. Have them now, because if you don't have them now, it's only going to create more and more problems in your company.
If those silent, not those things that you don't say, it
Hmm.
silently builds a culture that's louder than your voice.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
in order to make a true impact, you have to
Hmm.
start saying, this is the expectation. If you don't meet these expectations, this is the result of that. Think about raising
Yes.
your kids, right? It's the same
Yep.
thing. If you don't clean your room, this is what's going to happen. So
Right.
I don't know why we've gotten scared to do that in
Hmm.
our company or our business because we have accountability. Everybody has a boss, right? And
Right.
so why not do it right the first time and get the people that you need to execute your mission?
Right. Right, and I could give you a reason why. It's because we have a way, very much like the Shaq and RG3 example, we have a way of deviating the direct dialogue now. have a way of you have your
Yeah.
friend, you can jump on their friend's podcast and you can be tough guy there. But we have a way of texting somebody something that you could have just called and said directly to them. We have a way of deviating direct, look a person in the eye. This is the way this is where I'm coming from, this is where you coming from. We're gonna clash, but we're gonna move forward. I'm not even advocating. I tell the students this all the time. I would never tell you guys to like a classmate. I'm not going to sit up here and say you have to like everyone. That would be me being ridiculous. But I will tell you have to learn. I will tell you you're using up energy not liking a person, right? You're using up energy actually hating a person. So what you got to do
Yeah.
in school, I'm in school to learn and get better. You're in school to learn and get better, and you just keep moving forward. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you got to like everyone. How many people are in this building I can't stand, but you guys would never know because I see good morning and we keep it moving. That has to be, and that comes from a commitment that I have to do the work I do outside of school every single day. But also, it comes from this place where I just have sacrificed too much to let somebody else get in the way of my goals. And that is the mentality that you guys need to take. All right. So I'll drop the mic on it Sunday. I'm on coffee. I might start preaching it. But we're at that 20-minute mark. I'll let you kind of get the last word out if there's anything you want to close out with. Go
Okay.
ahead and take the mic away. We only got through one question today. So this is good because we're making it more efficient and you guys can take a little bit of it, go out through your week and go get better. So
Yep. So do you have the question you want to ask, or do you want to save it for next time?
yeah, well, we only got through one and we'll just save it for next time.
Say next time? Okay.
Yeah.
All
And by the
right.
way, guys, the
So,
super chat's on now. So I got super chats on YouTube, and I just opened up the super chat and the membership, work venting sessions, the membership on YouTube. All that stuff is available. I'm actually learning how to use the shit now. So we on 2026, baby. We coming. Woo, we coming strong. So anyway, I'll let you go.
well, I want to let you know too that I started my podcast,
Oh
HR
shit.
Unleashed, which is
Oh,
going to
where's
be,
the? Can we look it
it's
up?
on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Well, hold up
Um,
now. Hold up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We could get this thing pumping. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We can't do that.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
do my first one tomorrow, so it's just I got the YouTube set up, and I think we lost him, and we'll just keep talking until he joins back in. So it's called HR Unleashed on YouTube. So
Sorry
feel free
about
to
that.
come. There you are. I said we lost you.
Yeah, no. So what happened was I was trying to share. I forgot I unshared. And let me get it back on. So can you see the screen now?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, cool. So my
It's
bad.
under Ardent HR Solutions.
So HR Solutions.
Ardent, ARDENT. Now come on, you should know that by now.
No, but I didn't know that was what you were gonna name the show.
Yeah,
Solutions. All right. Oh, is this it?
I can barely see that. You know, I don't have my glasses on. Well, there's me right there. There you go.
Yeah,
That's it.
you have a ton of stuff online now. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, when I first met you, you didn't have one podcast episode,
yeah.
and look
So
at you.
it's gonna be there every Monday is when I'm gonna do it, and tomorrow's the first episode. So tune in.
All right. Well, there it is. Easy to understand now. All right, so we already know. We already know how we go. We'll be back next. We'll be back next Sunday again, discussing all of this, breaking all of this down. In fact, it's the fall. So I do with college football. Football's coming back. So expect a whole lot more content. Make sure you like and comment, subscribe, and sharing everything out. And you guys continue to move swiftly. We'll talk more soon.
See you next time.